Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a April homeschool recap and May homeschool plans and goals video. If you are not already a subscriber, I would love if you subscribe. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids, ages 3 through 15, so I have experience with a wide variety of ages and share about homeschooling them and big family life, motherhood, faith, curriculum, all the things. I would love if you stick around. If you are a subscriber already, you know that I do these videos monthly, sharing about what we actually did and what we actually got to in the previous month, and then look ahead to what the plans and goals are for the upcoming month. And then obviously I always have to come back here and be accountable to you guys of what we actually did. So that's what we're doing today. April was a really good month in a lot of ways. So good in so many ways. There were definitely some frustrating moments about April, which I'll share with you guys, but overall, there were some amazing things about April. I went to my first Wild and Free conference, my first homeschooling conference really at all, which I shared with you guys in last week's video randomly. It was amazing. I highly recommend going if you ever get a chance. We went on some fun field trips. We were outside a lot. April was a good month, by and large. I also found out in April that I would be going to the Teach Them Diligently conference this week in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. If you are going to be there, please come and see me. I will be at the Made to Homeschool booth periodically on and off throughout the conference, and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be speaking on a panel with a lot of the other moms from Made to Homeschool, sharing about building community, the importance of Christian community in homeschooling. So I'm really excited. I hope to get to meet some of you guys there. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to be there. It's not too late. I think tickets still are available, so I will link the ticket link down below as well. If you live within driving distance or you are adventurous and would fly last minute, definitely come to the conference. There are some amazing speakers that are going to be there that I'm so excited to go see. But I also want to take a minute before we jump into everything about April and for May to share one of the things I'm most excited about for May, and that is the early access launch to the Made to Homeschool community, you guys. I am so excited about this community for a variety of reasons. If you are not already on the wait list, click the link in the description box below to get on the wait list. It does not ask you for any credit card information. You are not committing to anything at all. It is simply to give you access as soon as access becomes available. So the official launch date is June 1st. But if you, before today, were already on the wait list, check your emails, because this morning an email is going out to people on the wait list, and we are allowing in a limited number of members for early access. So I would definitely check your spam folders, because if it is the first time, which it is, that you are getting an email from Made to Homeschool and they are sending out a bunch of emails this morning, chances are it is going to get kicked to your spam. So go to your spam folder. If you don't see it in your regular folder, click the link to get early access and do it. If you really want it, do it as soon as possible, because there is a limited number and they are going to cap it. And I don't want you to miss it if you want to be in there. Also, today, if you're watching this video on Monday, May 1st, there is a workshop, a live workshop already in the community for premium members. So there's the basic membership and the premium membership, both of which are like cheaper than Netflix. So definitely worth it. I would, of course, recommend the premium, because I would want access to the live workshops, because not only do you get the live workshop, but you get the Q&A at the end. And yeah, there is one today about tips for the scattered homeschool mom today. So definitely get in early access if you can. If you can't, if you are not already on the wait list, still get on the wait list, because as they are able, they will let in more people periodically leading up to the official June 1st launch. I will be doing a workshop on June 12th, a live workshop on June 12th in the Made to Homeschool community, all about homeschooling multiple ages. This is one of the most common topics I get asked about. And so knowing that's the topic, if you have specific questions regarding homeschooling multiple ages, multiple children, wide age gaps, please put them down in the comments because I will answer them in that workshop. Some of the other contributing mamas that you will see in the Made to Homeschool community will be familiar faces that you know from here on YouTube, like Abby from Rooted in Rest, and Anna from Just Making It Work, Wendy from Plan Prep Pray, Ashley from Joyful Noise Learning, Katie from Life in the Mundane, Morgan from Life of Tillman's, so many and so many other moms that you know from YouTube, Instagram, blogs. And I'm just so excited for us to all be in one place and connect with you guys. Okay, let's talk about April. April was a beautiful month. My kids were outside so much. We probably had the most unschooly month in our homeschooling life in the month of April. And I really leaned into it and allowed it as my children naturally moved in that direction. Now, this can be a tricky thing because for some of us, we're like, so do I just let them play all day? Like, we're not going to make them do anything. That is not what I'm talking about. But it does become a little bit difficult sometimes, even for me to say, like, I really should call them in. We really should start now. We really should come back together for another lesson and all of those things. What I noticed as I did that is they were naturally doing things that were valuable. What I don't do, I don't want to tell anyone else what to do, but what I don't do is, like, they aren't allowed to watch TV or be on computers or tablets or phones or video games. Like, that is not what's going on over here. They are typically outside, they're reading, they're doing projects, they're playing. The younger kids are engaging in pretend play and building things in the backyard, different worlds, being in the mud kitchen, finding things in nature. In the backyard, my older boys have been building like these drift cars and taking apart Matchbox cars and creating all these different things for them, collaborating together, playing together. And so there is so much there. We've gone on a lot of field trips. We finally went to the huge cavern and explored the caves and all that we were supposed to do like in the fall that we never got to. So we finally did that. We went on some great adventures with our Wild and Free group, and we really did have a great April. I did personally have some frustrating moments in April when I really pushed to keep people at the table longer than probably fit the season. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, we've been doing this, it's been working really well, like, what is the problem? Well, they have spring fever. It's nice outside and they want to be outside, and we don't need to, like, I need to take my own advice here. We don't need to make it look the exact same throughout the year. We can be flexible with the seasons, where in the winter it's cold where I live and it's dark out, and it's, not necessarily a time to be spending as much time outside. We were able to gather longer and be cozy and have tea and sit and all of those things, and they just are not there right now. And I had to realize, like, that's okay, right? So really finding the balance between having expectations and rhythms and routines in place so that it's not a free-for-all, but also not holding so tightly to those things that I'm just like totally frustrated, they're frustrated, and it's not a pleasant experience for anyone. So I just wanted to mention that the truth of me having to navigate that balance, and them also expressing, whether telling me or through their behavior, that it was not working for them. That is something that really did come up quite a bit in April. And so I'm going to continue to try to lean into that and find the balance in May. So I'll be back at the end of May to let you know how that goes. So probably what you will find as I go through my list to tell you what we got to, we did not get to nearly as much as I planned for April. And I had to be okay with that. All right, so let's look back. This is what I always do, right? Because I can never remember what I said I was going to do. Let's look back at what I said I was going to try to get to for April. So there's like my long wish list, right? And then I know this was a surprise to most of you. I did not fill in this page where I'm supposed to like pare down the reality of what I'm going to be doing. So other things that were great in April, it was my birthday, it was my anniversary. So those things were wonderful. And something I do want to mention, guys, is that I know I said that I was going to be coming back really soon with specific grade level curriculum picks. And please don't be mad at me, but I am going to hold off for a couple of reasons. One, I am going to a huge homeschooling conference where there's going to be lots of curriculum. And while I do not plan or desire to get caught up in the bright, shiny new curriculum craze, I do want to give the opportunity for myself to explore those things and see if there are things that I want to fit in. And while I know that even if I do the videos now or in a week or even in a month, I still will probably change things by the time the school year starts and then throughout the school year. And I will share those things with you. And I always give that disclaimer anyway. I just want to maybe wait another week or two before I make those decisions and share those with you guys. So hopefully no one really cares that much, but I just wanted to give you an update that next week you will see my notebooking video that I was going to put up this week, but next week we'll do that. And then the following week, I will likely have up some grade level specific curriculum picks. You can get a lot of a feel for what we're doing just by my family subjects curriculum picks that I shared a couple of weeks ago. So if you missed that, you can always go back and watch that in the meantime. Okay. All right, things I had on our list curriculum-wise for April. Nature Study Club, Mushrooms and Fungi Select Lessons. We did that, and it was way more fun and way more interesting than I ever expected. My kids were really into it, and it's really cool because we've already had real-life experiences where that learning came into play. So we had our forest school. That's another thing we did in April is we started forest school, which is only for a couple of months, but it is really cool. And the last one that we had just on Friday, we were focusing on decomposers. So we went out into the forest and tried to find as many different types as we could. And it was just perfect because we had just studied this in mushrooms and fungi. So that was really, really cool. I said that I was going to start the Christian Heroes Then and Now book about Mary Slessor. We did not get to that. I have it sitting there. I pulled it out this last week and I was like, we are going to start it. We did not, but I am pretty sure we are going to start it either this week before I leave for Teach Them Diligently, or we'll just wait to start it when I come back. Playful Pioneers, we've still been doing that about twice a week. Still is kind of like our sweet spot that we have found with that. Exploring Nature with Children, we did many of the ones I said we were going to do. We did a little bit in Tree Week, a little bit in Plant Life Cycle Week. Not a ton. Actually, we did more of the Plant Life Cycle Week with Wildflower Week because the Life Cycle Week was the week that I was at Wild and Free, I think. And then we did not do Grass Week, even though I love that week because it's an opportunity to use that scripture, the grass withers, the flowers will fade, but the word of our God stands forever. I love using that scripture for Grass Week and Exploring Nature with Children. So next year. We did start the Meadow Guide from the Peaceful Press, which is for ages 3 through 5. So it was more for my 3 and 4-year-old. And then the picture books, of course, my 7-year-old is super into them. It has great picture book recommendations that are included in that Meadow Guide. And then even my older boys enjoyed, like we read Miss Rumphius, which was in that Meadow Guide. We read The Flowers Are Calling, which was super interesting. And so we're loving the Meadow Guide. We're taking it slow, just like I said we would. It's a 4-week unit that will probably take us more like 6 weeks because we're only doing it like 2 or 3 times a week. And we're not doing everything in there. We're just doing what we like. And so that's how I use curriculum. I blend them. I take what I want to do. I skip things that I don't want to do or that I don't think they'll be into. And that's how we do it. We are still doing the maturation unit from The Good and the Beautiful. That was on my list. The Constitution unit. Guys, we didn't touch it in the month of April. And I said that we were going to like try to power through. We did not touch it. So I can't check that off. I actually went through ahead of time. Can you believe it? And checked things off. Usually I do it right on the video because that's just how I am. But I actually did it. Burgess Bird book for children notebooking unit that I created. We did still work through that. Not much though. Not much. I think we did it like once or twice. But I did check it off because we did still do it. that's available in my Etsy. If you're interested in reading the Burgess Bird book for children and you don't want to just read it, even though just reading it is great, it's a great book. If you want to do something that's kind of like a little more than just reading it, but not like a curriculum, my notebooking guide is super fun. It goes through just the first 10 chapters. And then it's like to kind of teach you to notebook, you and your child, and then you do it on your own the rest of the book if you choose. My herbs and foraging unit, we have been doing that and we've been loving it. Loving it. We've been taking our time and pairing it with the natural medicine unit from Campfire Curriculums, which we are also still working through. We only did that once or twice this month. But it's been amazing. And I like that we're taking our time and we're working through it slowly, because we're able to like not move forward. We're able to not move forward so fast that we are forgetting what we learned and not applying what we learned. So we're taking our time. And it's working for us that way. I put down like jumping back into our logical fallacies book that we like totally forgot about. We didn't do it. I put down jumping back into It Couldn't Just Happen, which is an amazing book, but we didn't do that either. We did do the Ransomed Passover guide from Kindle Togetherness that I shared with you guys about. We did a little bit of the Great Rescue guide, which I think I shared with you guys about. That was about the resurrection. And then I told you about the field trips that we went on. We did do a little bit of our knowledge crates, but not as much as I planned on. So that is something that we are going to try to definitely do for May, is really jump into those spring knowledge crates a bit more because there's so much good stuff in there. We started the book Created for Work. I shared this last week was it last week? I don't remember now. In my book haul video that we started that book, and my boys and I are really enjoying it. It's really sparked some good discussions. Big fan of it. We did do the Bird of the Month Club, which is not something I think I've shared yet on YouTube, is that For the Love of Homeschooling, which puts out the monthly nature study club, also just launched a Bird of the Month Club, which is super cool. It is not as in-depth or extensive or like a full month unit like Nature Study Club is, but it focuses on one bird a month. And we did the mallard last month, and we actually got like early access to this month's bird, which is the toucan, because I do some content creation for them. So we already did it, but it's the May one, and we'll probably do a little bit more of it because we just kind of scratched the surface. And there's a lot of really good stuff in there for all ages. So really, really, if you want to like really dive into birds, Burgess Bird Book Unit, Bird of the Month Club, lots of really good options there. Really great spring and summer learning because birds are so active during those times. What else? I think that was everything that I had written down for April. Aside from like my kids' independent work, which again, they didn't do as much independent work as they usually do. We did finish, though, I forgot to write these down. We did finish Anne of Green Gables while we were in the car. We listened to it as an audiobook, and I did not plan on going on to the future books. And they were like, is there another one? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, can we listen to it? So that was not in the plan, but we started that, which is really cool because they're interested in it. And I'm talking my 11 and 15-year-old boys wanted to keep listening to Anne of Green Gables. And so just as a side note, like we think, because of what the world says, like they think is cool and they need entertainment wise and what they are like gonna think is not cool, we don't have to raise our kids that way. And because of the fact that I try to focus on whatever things are pure and lovely and of good report and expose my children to good, beautiful things, they want more of that. And so I just want to encourage you that my 11 and 15-year-old boys, who are boys, I mean, they are like outside boys, work with their hand boys. Like they are not like, they love Anne of Green Gables. I'm just saying. And Little House on the Prairie. So we have not finished Little House on the Prairie. We are still reading that because we're kind of just keeping in schedule with our Playful Pioneers curriculum that goes along with. So some updates on that. So let's look at what I wrote down for May goals. Okay, Nature Study Club select lessons. So again, I am approaching May Nature Study Club as not going through it from start to finish, but going through and deciding which things we want to do. And what I am really excited about though, and I know I say this every month because I am always excited, but this one is different because this one is nature all around me. And what it's doing in May Nature Study Club is it's reviewing the last 12 months of Nature Study Club and then taking it a little step further. So there'll be like a day or two about deciduous trees because that was a topic that we studied all of October, and then really looking at like what is my state tree, and then doing like projects with trees and leaves from the state tree and just really digging in a little bit more. So it's really cool that it reviews it but then builds upon it as well in all of the topics that have been covered in Nature Study Club for the year. So whether you've done Nature Study Club for the year and it's a cool like review and then add on, or if you haven't done it or you did part of it, it's cool because you'll touch on those topics. And so I'm super excited to do that. Natural medicine, we will keep plugging away, slowly taking our time. Playful Pioneers, same thing. Exploring Nature with Children in May, which I shared previously, is mostly all about caterpillars and butterflies. So we got our caterpillars. That's another thing that we did in April. So we have our caterpillars. They are getting so big so fast. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend it. I will link the ones we got down below because this year we found ones that actually had, I've never seen this before, of all the times that I've ordered them and looked them up, it actually had the life cycle figurines of the painted lady butterflies, which are the type of butterflies that come in the kit. We've always had the monarch life cycle figurines, but they don't match the butterflies that we're actually raising, which was never a big deal, but it's cool that we actually have the figurines that go with them. So I will link that one down below. Hopefully it's still available and you can jump in, because in Exploring Nature with Children, it's weeks 1 and weeks 2 are caterpillar weeks. Week 3 is ant week, because that's kind of when your butterflies would be in their chrysalis, and then the last week in May is butterfly week, because then they would be emerged as butterflies. So we may or may not touch on ants. We'll see. We're following it loosely because we are going to be doing caterpillar stuff, but we're not going to be digging in super deep because it's something we've covered. So we'll just touch on it lightly. Same thing with butterflies. And the meadow guide, that's kind of more how I'll focus on it, is with my younger kids, because in the meadow guide from the Peaceful Press, the second week in there is about insects and butterflies, and so that will pair together beautifully. And then another thing that we did start that I didn't plan on in April was Science for Little Hearts and Hands by The Good and the Beautiful. It's something that I purchased for next year and then started flipping through it as I was planning for my curriculum and my curriculum videos, and realized, no, like I want to start this now. I don't need to wait till next year. There's topics that align beautifully with things we're already going to cover this spring. That would be a perfect way to introduce the topic and really bring in my younger kids. So we will use Science for Little Hearts and Hands this month to talk about caterpillars and butterflies too. And I haven't looked to see if there's something about ants. It obviously doesn't cover every topic, but it has aligned with a lot of the ones that we've done, like plants and wildflowers and seeds, and we've really enjoyed it. So highly recommend that if you have like ages like pre-K through 2nd grade. It's really lovely. We'll continue Created for Work. We will start Christian Heroes Then and Now about Mary Slessor. We will try to do some more work in the Constitution unit. I am not going to lie to myself and say that we're going to finish it, because I just know we're not. We might finish the maturation unit though, because that's not as long and we've kind of made good progress, but I'm not worried about us finishing it. I'm just worried about us continuing it. I put down It Couldn't Just Happen, because I would like to jump back into reading that one with the kids. I put down Knowledge Crates because I do want to do some more of the activities from there. I think the reason we hadn't is because they were just outside so much entertaining themselves that I didn't need to as much as I did in the winter, like create something to engage them because they're cooped up. So rainy days like today, like it is super rainy out, today would be a perfect day for Knowledge Crates. And then I put down math picture books. If you saw my book haul video, I got a bunch of picture books from the library that introduce and review math concepts, mostly for my 7-year-old, but I read them and my littles want to be in on it too, so it can't hurt. And she's really enjoying them, which I was like, I wonder if she's not going to like this, because she's like, Mom, this book is just about math. But she actually really is enjoying them. So that's really cool. We will continue that. That is all I have written down for May on my wish list, which looks pretty long. I did actually start the reality, guys. And as you will see, I am reminding myself, so please don't think I'm ever preaching to you about connection over curriculum, because I am still having to preach it to myself. Connection, connection, connection. Stay at peace. It is not worth robbing the peace to get to all of the things on my to-do list for the day. And again, I am aware there is a balance. I've gotten a couple of messages about homeschool moms that have a looser style just being lazy and all these things, and that's garbage. But I do understand there is a balance between expectations and when to push them and all of those things, and I do that. But knowing when to push is crucial, because otherwise you are just going to frustrate yourself and you are going to hurt the relationship with your children through your frustration. So connection, don't get frustrated with interruptions. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, so we have lots of interruptions, and that's where some of the frustration was coming in with me too, because I just wanted to keep powering through, and I'm like, they don't have the attention span for that. So I need to give us more breaks. I need to let them go, which I would let them go, but they would still become a distraction. So anyways, and then flow with the seasons. So those are like my top 3 things to do this month amidst my list of curriculum things that I want to get to. And so also we'll continue to have forest school through May. We'll have a wild and free meetup. We may join like this kayaking group that's for homeschoolers. So lots of really good stuff coming up in May. Let me know if you have any similar plans for the month of May, if you had anything similar going on in the month of April. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, I would love if you would subscribe. If you're new here, definitely introduce yourself down in the comments below. Don't forget to check your emails if you got on the wait list for Made to Homeschool, so that you can get into early access if you choose to. And then if you are not already on the wait list, go get on there, so the next round of early access, you can be on that list. If you're not already following me over on Instagram, you can follow me over there at rooted_homelife. And I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.